everyone, Nadine here with another project that I'm doing for Imagine. This one is going to be a Halloween shaker card, and I'm going to be using several different inks from Imagine. I'm going to be using these Delicata colors in Black Shimmer and Ruby Red. I'm using some Versacolor, Indigo, and Peony, some white embossing powder, Versa Magic in Midnight Black, some Versamark, and then also Shimmer Spritz. This is the silver color. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I did was cut out a circle, die cut a circle out, and I am just going to tape that down. And then I also took a smaller circle and just cut it out of a piece of paper so I can use this as a template. Okay. And then taking some of the sheer shimmer spritz in the silver, making sure it's good and shook up, and then trying not to cover the entire circle, I'm just going to spray that on there. There we go. And then using a stamping block, I'm going to take some of the Versa Magic in Midnight Black and just stamp some of that on there, or press some of that on there. Get it wet. And then using a paintbrush, I'm just going to flick that right over the top, just like that. And then remove, and you have a circle, and this is going to be my moon. Piece of masking tape paper that I cut out already with the die cut. I'm just going to put that right over my circle. And then using the Versacolor and Peony, using the sponge dauber, and I'm just going to start at the bottom of my circle and start blending upwards. And then using the Indigo and the Versacolor, and using the sponge dauber and going from the top and doing the same thing, blending down into the Peony color. And then going back in with the Peony again, I'm going to blend back up into that blue, or the Indigo. Okay, now taking the Delicata in Ruby Red. Oops, get the lid off, maybe. There we go. I'm just going to go in through the very bottom and blend up. And then taking the Delicata in the Black Shimmer and going to go over the Indigo and go back down into the red again. Okay, now I'm just going to peel that off. And I got the moon with like a sky, eerie sky. Okay, now using this skeleton stamp from a stamp set that I've had for 10 plus years. I have no clue where I even got it at or who it's even by. But anyhow, I like the little skeleton guy that's on it. I'm going to stamp him in some Versamark. A little bit off to the side here. And then I'm just going to emboss him with some white embossing powder. And hopefully you don't spill the embossing powder like I just did. Okay, now doing the same technique that I did for the moon, I added some white gesso onto my stamp block with some water. And then I'm just going to flick that over the top, trying to get to the top part more. It was a little heavy. Okay, now that is dry, so it gives it gesso gives it kind of a stars in the background. I'm going to take some on point glue and glue around the outside another die cut ring that I made from black cardstock and adhere it to a piece of acetate, clear acetate. And then I cut 3 layers of black foam, and then I'm just going to stick these 3 together. And once I got all 3 layers, I'm going to add the the die cut with the acetate onto the top, again with some on-point glue. And I'm just going to stick the foam block on there and let that sit for a little bit. Okay, while the rings are drying, I am going to stamp a bat, and I'm going to stamp that in the Delicata Black Shimmer. There we go. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on there from the Delicata, but it's on there. And then I am going to take my card base, get somewhat of an idea of where I'm going to put the shaker part. I'm going to use Chills and Thrills. I'm going to see if I can get this black raven to also sit on here. And I decided I am going to emboss the sentiment with some black embossing powder. So I'm going to use my Versamark. And then kind of a line where I want the raven to be over the word. And also use my Versamark on that too. Okay, now with my little frame that I've made so far, I'm going to take these googly eyes and put them upside down in here. And then I also have some beads that I'm going to add in. And then just peeling off the back of the foam adhesive part, and then I'm going to stick on this piece that I made. Center it on there. And I'm just going to use some tear it tape and adhere it to the front of my card. And there I go. My card is complete. On the back, I took some more of the Versamagic in the Midnight Black, and just like what I did on the moon, I mixed it with some water and flipped it onto the background. And then I added some beads and sequences to it. I fussy cut out that bat. And then on the outside edge of the card base, I also used the Versamagic. First I distressed it, then I used the Versamagic right around the edges, and then just adhered it to the card. Actually, this is the card front, and I adhered it to the card base. And then it is complete. You can see a little guy, my little skeleton in there, the moon. So I got the wiggly eyes and the beads in there. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to visit imaginecrafts.com for even more inspiration, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.